Hi, I'm Rich Torrey. Welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. All you ever need to follow along with me is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? Now, before we get started, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe button as it helps this channel to grow, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. Just a quick note, some of you may notice different surroundings. No, I'm not in the Level Up studios and won't be for some time. My wife and I came home from being away at our son's wedding to find our basement and my studio flooded due to a leak in our boiler. Needless to say, I'm not happy about it. But by carrying on with our drawing, I'm proving what I say at the beginning about all you need is a pencil and a piece of paper, right? Anyway, I'll keep you updated on the progress of the cleanup and the rebuild. So last week, before the flood, we drew a turnaround of one of Disney's oldest reoccurring characters, Pete, also known as Pegleg Pete, Peter Pete, and even Percy P. Percival. While we're digging around in those early Disney years, I thought it only right that we would do a turnaround of Walt's first breakout star, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, who first appeared in 1927 and who starred in more than 24 Disney shorts before Universal Studios yanked control of Oswald away from Disney, inspiring Walt to regroup and create a new character that built an empire. Mickey Mouse. The whole Twisted Oswald saga is worth looking into. I've done some shorts discussing his history, and I probably will post another today or tomorrow, so look for that. While preparing my reference drawings for Oswald, I became aware of just how many versions or looks there have been. This was mostly due to the fact that he passed through the hands of multiple studios, artists, and eras of animation. Understand, he's within 2 years of his 100th birthday, which is amazing. The version I chose to use is in keeping with his look since Disney reacquired his rights back in 2006. So a modern 2D version of Oswald, although not the most recent CGI version used in the epic Mickey video games. Okay, so let's draw. Before we get started, a reminder, a turnaround is a series of drawings of a character from different angles, literally creating a model sheet of that character. We'll start with the front view, then move into various other angles after extending some guidelines across the page to help position the character's features. Okay, so we're going to draw our turnaround of Oswald step by step, giving you the secret formula to be able to draw him again and again. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I normally use the character's head to figure out how big the entire character is. Oswald's body in all 4 angles is roughly 2.5 heads tall. In other words, however tall we draw Oswald's round head, his entire body, including his equally round belly, is about 2.5 of those tall. His big ears extend up another head tall on top of that, depending on the angle of those ears. Okay, so what do you say we draw the roadmap for our turnaround of Disney's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit? So there's a roadmap of our turnaround of Oswald. Now before I go on to step 2, I want to give you the layout of Oswald's turnaround using simple shapes for those of you who want a screen grab. Just something to help you when laying out your drawing. Okay, so now we're on to step 2. In this step, we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the third and final step, you want to draw as light as possible. As I mentioned at the beginning, I use guidelines to help me to position Oswald's eyes, nose, body, and overall pose, but we don't want those guidelines in the final drawing. So you want to draw them light enough to be able to erase them easily. So let's rough out the features for our turnaround of Disney's Oswald. Okay, so there are the roughed out features of our Oswald turnaround. So now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for that final step. In step 3, we get to have fun. We get to draw in the final details of our Oswald turnaround. And we don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work to figure that out. In this step, it's okay to draw darker, but don't press too hard or mindlessly retrace over the lines you've already drawn. The goal is to always draw with an eye on tweaking and improving all the way until the very end. So let's draw in the details for our turnaround of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And that's how you do it. There it is, our turnaround of Disney's first breakout character, virtually the forebearer of Mickey Mouse, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So how do you think you did? Understand, if you've never drawn any version of Oswald before, let alone a turnaround of him, you cannot expect to have drawn him perfectly. You'll notice I don't spend time coloring Oswald during this video because I want my lessons to focus solely on the drawing process. Now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing a turnaround of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And with that, you could draw him again and again. By all means, color him when you're done. I promise each time you draw him, it's going to be a little better and a little easier. I also promise the more you work with me, the better you're going to get at all of your cartoon characters. So I'd love to see your turnaround drawing of Oswald. If you can, take a picture and post it on either Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to include the hashtag #LevelUpCartooning. I hope you had as much fun as I did with this one. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.